What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. And we're back with another video, guys. Today, we're going to talk about how you can essentially predict how much business you're going to write and how you can hit nearly any goal when it comes to your own personal production as an insurance agent. But before we get into that, guys, I need to talk to you about my favorite telemarketing lead company, and that is Lead Heroes, guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads. Guys, they have trained and incredibly proficient telemarketers that will do all the hard work of prospecting, all the dirty work for you by making calls, finding qualified and interested individuals to help essentially get you connected with them, whether it be preset appointments, live transfer calls, or maybe even just real-time leads. They got something for everybody. Just because you watch this video, guys, Lead Heroes is going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. The link can be found down in the description to their website, along with a coupon code that you want to use at checkout to get that discount. So go check them out. Okay, guys, how can you essentially predict and essentially hit any target you want by playing the numbers game? Well, it's very, very simple. What you have to essentially capitalize on and essentially understand and put down on paper is a couple of different statistics when it comes down to your own production. Now, you probably have to be selling for 3, 6, maybe even 9 months to get enough data to be able to go back and essentially quantify these numbers, but you have to be keeping track of your numbers first and foremost. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that an agent makes a direct mail order with Lead Concepts. Lead Concepts is my favorite direct mail lead company. They're not a sponsor of this video, but they just are. That's who we use. That's who we recommend. And we've done a really good review video on them that you might want to check out. I'll try to pin it here in the video if you haven't checked that out. But let's use them as an example. And this works for really any type of leads. So with Lead Concepts, their model is fairly simple. What they do is, and I'm just using them as an example, this will work for any type of lead, but let's just say, with Lead Concepts, they do 1,000 pieces of mail for you to where, they'll use their own data, they'll use their own mail pieces. That's what they're good at. So someone like me, I lean on them heavily for that because they're the experts. They have the 30 years of experience. I don't. They know how to get significant more returns and pulls from a certain mail piece than I ever could. So what they're going to do is for every 1,000 pieces of mail they send out, they're going to charge maybe $510, right? So let's do some math here. Depending on your market with Lead Concepts, you might be getting a 1, 2, 3% return rate. Let's just say, for the sake of example, that we're getting a 2% return rate. That means for every 1,000 of pieces of mail that go out from Lead Concepts, you're going to get 20 leads back, if that is your return rate, right? It just depends, but let's just use this as an example. 2% response rate for 1,000 pieces of mail is 20 leads. So let's say you did $1,000. Or 1,020 actually, if my math is correctly there, for a 2,000 piece mailer, that would give you 40 leads, and so on and so forth. So out of those leads, what is your closing ratio? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is essentially calculate out of every single lead you get, how many of them are you closing? So let's say, and to be honest with you guys, I always tell people this, it's very typical for an insurance agent to close, when you actually crunch your numbers, it's very typical for an insurance agent to close 20 to 30% of their leads. This is typically average or normal. And actually 30% is above average, to be honest with you. I think 20% is more normal than anything else. But let's just use that benchmark as an example. Let's say you're closing 20% of your leads. Well, we can essentially determine how much commission and how much business and how many applications and clientele you can get based on that order. So let's say you did a 2,000 piece mailer with Lead Concepts, a 2,000 piece drop with an average response rate of 2%, spending $1,020. Okay, so $1,020, essentially what you can rely on for that is you're going to get around 40 leads back if it's a 2% response rate. You're paying about $25.50 per lead, right? Now, let's say you're getting 40 leads back on that. 40 leads would be 2% of a 2,000 piece mailer. So what you need to be able to predict is how many clients can I get off of that? Well, if you're getting 20% of 40 leads, you're going to walk away with 8 new clients by that number, 8 sales. So you have to play the numbers game and kind of calculate this out, and then you can kind of see what it would take to hit high numbers. So let's say you do that in a week, you hit all those leads in a week, you get 8 clients, great. Well, what if I want to get double that? What do I have to do? Well, simple. You have to drop twice as many leads on that batch, because if you essentially double up the order at that point, you'd be spending $2,040, if my math is correct there. That'd be for 4,000 mail pieces. And for 4,000 mail pieces, at 2% response rate, you can expect about 80 leads. Now, at this point, we're getting into quite a bit of lead flow for one person to be able to work maybe all in a week. And some of you guys can, I'm sure. But it's getting a little bit more subjective. So at that point, you might want to bring on an agent, split those leads with that agent, and essentially really start to scale this thing. This is how you can essentially hit high targets and become top producers, by figuring out these numbers games, if you will. So for 80 leads, if we're closing, let's say 20% of them, for example, that gives us 16 clients. So right there, what we're looking at is you spend about a little bit over $2,000. You can essentially almost predict that you can walk away with 16 clients if you do what you're supposed to do and call the leads, email the leads, the ones that have email addresses, door knock the ones you can't get a hold of, essentially do what you need to do for direct mail, which we've talked about in other videos. But this is about playing the numbers game. And this is how you can essentially see what it is that you necessarily have to do to hit high targets. A lot of you guys that do a lot of Facebook ads can do similar things. And a lot of you guys can get leads for less than $25.50 per lead, but the intent is not going to be as high. So maybe your close ratio, instead of being 20%, 25%, 30%, might be 15% instead. So you have to calculate those numbers into it. And if you don't really know what your numbers are, keep track of them very meticulously for the next 6 months, and you'll have a very, very good idea in terms of what those patterns are. Some lead batches you might get 25%, another lead batch you might get 15%, but what's the average close ratio you're getting? How many clients on average would you say you're getting per lead drop? And that's how you can essentially determine how much you need to spend in order to close X number of policies, whatever your goal is. So anyway, guys, this is something that I've implemented heavily in my career over the years. And this is how I've essentially been able to meet my goals and hit targets, because it's instead of just putting a target or a goal down on paper, that's important. That's the first step. But if you have no plan and you don't know really what it takes to hit that goal, you're going to be all motivated, but you're not really going to know what to do. You have to put strategy and implement that strategy into your daily routine, and sometimes that includes spending money. This can give you an idea of how many leads you might need to purchase, and it's going to fluctuate a little bit from one type of lead to another. But this is what you need to do to hit those high targets: is do the math. The math never lies. The math is unbiased, and the math is going to be able to tell you exactly what strategy and how much of a budget you need in order to close X amount of deals over the course of a week, 2 weeks, or a month. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do you do that math? Do you do that production math in your business on a regular basis? If you do, let us know what it looks like. Drop it down in the comment section. If you don't, why not? Drop a like on the video too, so more agents just like you can easier find this video. Make sure to subscribe so you're notified when we post. Hit the bell, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and much success to you.